Hi there, Mutantville players. I didn't see you there. Welcome to another edition of Johnny Brento's JuJu. As you can see, I'm sitting here reading a schedule for Nevermore Film Festival. This is day 3 for us, and it's been a real blast so far. Thought I would give you a quick recap of events through day 2. This is the beginning of day 3 of the Nevermore Film Festival, and just let you know what Johnny Brento and crew were up to in support of the film Take That, which screened in the They're Coming to Get You Barbara block of short films. It was a little bit different this year, but I guess I'll start at the beginning. We all came up on Friday. Well, when I say all, myself, my son, and Todd A. Britt came up on Friday along with Robert Filling. Robert drove separately. And right before I left, I updated my GPS, and apparently it got a bug because instead of taking me to the theater in Durham, it took me to a friend's house in a nearby Nightdale, so it was about 40 minutes out of the way. Rained the entire time, but we did manage to stop off at a Lone Star, and I felt better about the whole situation after a $22 steak, so that was cool. Got checked in probably about 5:30 here at Duke Towers, which you just saw a few bits of footage from the courtyard here. Real nice. It was incredibly kind of Jim Crawl and the Nevermore Film Festival to put us up, so really appreciate that. Anytime there's any consideration for accommodation, that's excellent. And it's just one more thing that Nevermore Film Festival does that separates it from all the other film festivals I've ever been involved in. I've said many times I consider it like the best film festival experience that I've experienced, and once again this year that holds true. So we got checked in about 5:30, I guess, here at Duke Towers, and then chilled out for like an hour or so, and then went over around 6:30 to the Carolina Theater, picked up our credentials. Was planning to watch some films, but I think we were all just kind of blasted from the driving journey, so we ended up coming back a bit early. We hung out probably about 45 minutes or so there in the grand ballroom between Cinema 1 and Cinema 2, and chatted up a bartender about music and films from the 80s for about 45 minutes or so. I encountered Christine Parker from Fistful of Brains and A Few Brains More fame in the area. She's here with one of her films, I think Cash Me If You Can, which I haven't seen yet, but I hope to see today. I had a great time, even Friday, but Saturday kicked off and it was really something else. Watched Attack of the Foreign Invaders film block, and it was a bunch of mostly Spanish films, I gather. Well, they were all well shot, for one thing. Really beautiful work as far as cinematography on pretty much all the films, but then of course you get into that foreign sensibility. Subtitles has never been a thing that bothers me, so that didn't put me off, but many of the films in question seem to never really show the payoff, or show the action. If there's a person that's supposed to be a monster or a zombie or whatever, in lots of cases you would see bloody hands up to the chest, and that would be it. And that happened a few times, and they're really big into never reveal the monster and leave the ending up to the viewer kind of thing, which is not so much my personal style and what I like in a film. I like a great payoff, but still, it was very interesting to see these films, and there were a couple of them that were really stand out as far as just overall quality. Nice work. I would say there wasn't a film in there that didn't have some sort of a small budget to work with, and of course, MVP, and of course myself at Grey Brotherhood Films. It's kind of a no-budget proposition or whatever we can come up with out of the pocket. So, we look at these films that have budgets and a 50-person crew, and we're a little envious, but we don't have those means, so we have to roll with what we can. Which leads me to my next talking subject. We got to the They're Coming to Get You Barbara block of short films, which our film Take That is in, and also one of Robert's films, Lot 66. Now, as it turns out, we were scheduled to play. My film was scheduled to play first, and then there was one in between, and then Robert's film, Lot 66, was scheduled to play. But Jim Crawl got up and announced that we only had 2 filmmakers present, and of course he singled out Robert and I. We stood up and everybody clapped and all that, which was neat. But because we were going to be the only 2 in the QA, he was going to put our films at the end so they'd be fresh in people's minds. So that was great, and what I realize is that really works out in our favor when it comes to voting. So I hope it makes a difference. Also, I have to say, Take That was probably the show with the most amount of people in there in support of, because I had Morgan Monig in attendance, Stephen Tucker, Todd, myself, and I'm just going to guess that Robert's vote's going to go for his film. So at least there's the four of us. So at the end, Robert got up, emceed the whole affair with the Q&A, and folks asked some really cool questions, insightful questions, and they seem to be, they seem to be hip to what was going on with Take That, which is great, because it means, the film did its job establishing those characters in such a short period of time, which are going to carry on through either an anthology or a feature film, whatever Mother of Empires becomes. But I was very happy to see that, of course, when I'm watching my own work, especially on such a large screen, I'm thinking to myself, oh, this doesn't look the way I wanted it to, and that didn't really play the way I wanted it to. But then I hear the crowd, and they're laughing at all the jokes. I mean, especially the stuff in the bar. Some of that stuff I thought maybe might fall flat, but it didn't. With this crowd, and it may just be that they were there to enjoy, low-budget films, but they really seemed to get it. There was some fantastic crowd response, and it really kind of overwhelmed me. And by the end of it, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm like, hey, maybe this is a little better than I thought it was. So that's always a great feeling to come away with. And then when we got to the Q&A, the bulk of the questions, probably because Morgan was there, was for Take That, and so we just had a lot of fun with it, a lot of fun with the crowd. And Robert then talked a bit about Lot 66, and I whipped out my iPhone and started filming him, so maybe see a bit of that with this. But it was pretty funny, and the crowd seemed to have fun with us, and the whole experience just left me thinking how, yes, it was worth the aggravation and the expense to make our little $1,000 picture. And here it's playing with Canadian. This year, the big change is that Jim decided to roll in the Canadian films with ours, the American short films, and just make it the North American block or whatever. So we're all in competition together. Where that might not be such a level playing field is that in Canada, you can get government money basically to make art, which is amazing. I'm so envious. I wish we had that. We don't. And it's really clear, when you see the picture, you can see the money in the picture, So a couple of them were shot with red cameras, but all of them had big cast and crew, or at least big crew, even if it was a small cast. So I'm sitting there thinking, man, that's amazing. What would it be like to shoot with that kind of cast and crew? And just really kind of green with envy, if you want to know the truth about it. But then at the end, Lot 66 and Take That both seem to be among the favorites of those viewing it, and that was pretty cool. I mean, I was thinking, wow, maybe we really did something storytelling wise that some of these other films didn't quite, reach, but. Or maybe it's just that, it's a pro-American crowd. I don't know, but I know certainly, or maybe just because we were there for the Q&A, but I know that I certainly left thinking that we held our own, certainly, against the Canadian films. Not that it's that sort of a competition, but, any kind of recognition that you ever get with something that you put so much blood, sweat, and tears into, it's amazing. So, our little $1,000 Take That is right up there with films probably with, at least 10 times that in budget. So that's pretty awesome. So we're going into today pretty pumped up. It's our last day here at Nevermore, and the plan for today is to watch some more long-form short films and then one feature film. I'm going to try to check out Headsome, which is at 12:30. Actually, no, I'm not going to get to check out Headsome, unfortunately, because I'm definitely going to check out Found in Time. And then I'm going to jump into Boogeymen from Beyond the Sea. And then we will be ready for our screening, which is at 4:50 today. So we'll be hanging into the end of that and heading out of Durham somewhere around 6:30. So, or however long the Q&A lasts. So that's it for us today. And I got my co-pilot, Liam Doom Machine Bowers, with me today, and I'm glad to expose him to, what the experience can be like when you make some art, whether it's film or music or whatever, and you get to the point where you get to be in some festival or a concert or whatnot. I think it's a positive message, that you don't just you make art for art's sake, but that sometimes cool things can happen as a result. So That's it for this week's Johnny Brento's JuJu. Check back next week, and we'll have more to talk about what we're up to. Thanks, guys. Bye.